This is my third video examining Mark Braun and his influence on the modern flat earth community and mythos. Mark literally claims to be Satan, and he wants to take 144,000 people to Mount Meru at the North Pole and have them jump into the Lake of Fire. Yeah, he says that. There is no mountain, there's no Lake of Fire, but thousands of people have been fooled by him. His main henchman is Devin Maggi, and one of his most well-known followers is Tanner Stewart, who calls himself Flat Earth Millionaire. Be sure to watch the previous two videos to get the full context. Today I'm reviewing the Flat Earth garbage documentary series Level, specifically some of the characters in this video. The cast of the movie is a bit sordid. First, you might recognize Tanner Stewart. He's probably the funding behind the movie. And as I covered in my previous video, he's a Satanist. Next is Martin Lidke. Martin is also an admirer of Mark Braun, or Quasi-Luminous, as he sometimes calls himself. In this interview, you can hear Martin dribbling all over himself that he gets to talk with his hero.
My very, very special guest, Quasi-Luminous, guys. Can you believe my luck? Quasi-Luminous is gracing me with his presence, and basically, I'm a big fan of his.
In the middle of the interview, Martin agrees with Flurf Satan's plans to go to the magnetic Mount Meru magic portal, where people are to throw themselves in the Lake of Fire that Mark claims is there.
We're listening. I know, I get it. We get it. 144, guys, and then we're fucking out of this shit all right, brothers?
And at the end of the interview, Martin says this.
Quasi-Luminous special, exclusive interview with the legendary man himself, 45,000 subscribers, and 144 of us, very too bloody intent, and the rest of us are necrophiliacs fucking corpses, okay? Don't tell my wife I said that.
It's a little muffled, but it sounds like Martin is counting himself in the group of 144,000 blood over intent cultists. That's where they write a black magic incantation on paper and bleed on it. I think Martin didn't want his wife to know that he was involved. Did I hear that right? Let me know in the comments if you heard differently. And next we have a look at Santos Bonacci. He positions himself as a peaceful, religious guru leading his people through enlightenment, transcendence, and spiritual healing. But he's actually just a dirty old man. I don't think I've ever heard anyone that can spout off a more disgusting series of insults than Santos. He is so disgusting that he deserves an entire episode just to show how horrible he is. And it won't be family friendly either. For this episode, I'll stick with Santos's agreement with Flat Earth Satan's teachings. You may remember that Flat Earth Satan says that there's a realm called Hyperborea under the North Pole, accessed through a portal you can find if you just follow a compass north.
And so the inhabitants of these 7 subterranean planets, they interact with human beings, especially the elite families, through the North Pole. They come from under the earth, and they come from the North Pole and other portals.
It's in the centre, and that's the North Pole. So Hyperborea is the hyperbola, same thing, the tree in the centre of the garden.
Hyperborea, that's the North Pole. Well, that's the North Pole of the system we live in. This is the flat Earth. Here, let me make it circular. There's a flat Earth. This is Mount Meru in the middle.
This is all familiar if you have heard the ramblings of Flat Earth Satan Mark Braun. In 2017, Santos did a few videos with Devin Maggi. That's Flat Earth Satan's bestie at the time. Devin asked Santos specifically about physically going to the North Pole.
Many of us are attracted to the center. And I just kind of want to clear up that it's easy to mistake these 4 continents as metaphorical. This is a physical place that when one is spiritually ready, one must take a physical journey to get to. We're not semi-etheric yet. We are still in these dense outer lands.
Sounds reasonable to me, and it sounds correct for sure.
Reasonable? Not at all. It's just ice and thousands of feet of cold, dark water. There are no magic portals. Santos is just a raving lunatic. Santos has confirmed his support for Mark and Devin's trip to the North Pole. He's a fan. Then there's the totally not out of context quote from Santos.
Santos' astrology and syncretism is from the devil.
Okay, that's out of context, but he was paraphrasing many people's opinions of his derpy religion. His syncretism cult takes the least common denominator from whatever religion he fancies and combines them into a bastardization that's really good at one thing: getting money from gullible people. But that's for a different video. Finally, for this episode, we have a look at the director of the Level mockumentary series, Sean Hibbeler. Sean is besties with Tanner Stewart. They have been for a long time. Tanner is even a member of the panel on Sean's Level-Headed podcast. As I've said before, I think Tanner provided the funding for the Level series. I emailed Tanner to confirm, but no response yet. With such a long-standing and close relationship with Sean, does he have the same satanic leanings as Tanner? First, let's review what Flurf Satan says.
The Holy Grail is right over there at the center of the dish where every compass points to. Makes no fucking sense to me. Because it's right over there, people, at the end of your compass. Every compass, it says, come pass, need El, the Father in heaven. It's right over there, the Holy Grail, at the center of the dish.
And what does Sean say in his own video?
It's crazy to think that all compasses are pointing north to the North Pole. No compass points south. There is no South Pole. There's no compass that's going to be, oh, go south. No, it's come pass, come to the north. There's something there. I think we can all agree there's something there.
Sean says, come pass, and there's something there. Someone's been listening to Mark Braun, it seems. Also, Sean says, no compass points south, just seconds after having a compass pointing south in his own video. Sean is so stupid he would be out of his depth in a parking lot puddle. In the previous video where I covered Tanner Stewart, I mentioned his video, FEM, formerly T-Stew shares occult secreties. In this video, Tanner's Dark Lord Mark Braun had this to say.
Jesus has his counterpart, the Black Sun. Every compass is pointing to the very center of the flat earth plane where the aurora borealis is coming out. This is where the Black Sun is eating the light sun through the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. And the great dragon Typhon, the mother of all creation, end of humanity, comes shooting out of that Holy of Holies. It's coming out of the Black Sun. You bow your head in prayer to the Black Sun. You close your eyes, make a wish to the Black Sun. You throw a coin in the wishing well for the Black Sun. We need to get to the center of the dish before we're dead. At the very center of the flat earth plane, you will find the Holy Grail. Every compass is pointing to it.
And in Sean's Level video, we have this.
The oldest ancient symbols, and it's the Black Sun, a celestial body that we perhaps can't see.
A lot of ancient civilizations always spoke about a black sun. It's like, why are they talking about a black sun for hundreds, if not thousands of years? And that information now is turned into, oh, the black sun is an evil thing. It's like, well, yeah, of course, that's what they're selling it.
Sean is a fan of the Black Hole Sun, just like Mark Braun. He even played a part of the song Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Of course, there is no such thing, but these people just conjure up some derpy idea and fall over themselves talking about how woke they are because they can talk about things that don't even exist. It won't surprise you that Sean was in a video with Santos Bonacci. They did a call-in show, and someone that seems to be a blood over intent cultist calls in.
The aurora borealis, Hibbeler.
That's in the north. Yep.
The Aurora Borealis, Hibbeler, is what I'm talking about. I feel like that's
You're
what
talking about the
my
North Pole.
heart
You
is
want to go
drawing-
north?
drawing me. Yeah. I want to listen, bro. I just want to go. My heart's drawing me to wherever this magic place is, where everything converges, the rivers, the magnetic thing. I just want to be there, wherever it is, where I enter this random hole, and they're like, "You made it." I don't think we need to go to the wall. I think we need to go to the north, the middle part, where the Aurora Borealis is. That's where.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if I had to pick one or the other, I would go north.
Me too.
Sean is interested in the idea of going north to enter this random hole. Sean has a lot of parallels with Flurf Satan, but this is a little too circumstantial to conclude if Sean is a true follower of Tanner's Dark Lord. So let's just ask him. Hey, Sean Hibbeler, are you a blood over intent adherent like your buddy Tanner? Did you upload a BOI video like Tanner did? Send me a link. I'll include it in a future video. Until then, I'll consider Sean a potential Satanist. You know, if Mark Braun ever got 144,000 people to go to the North Pole with him, it would make Jonestown look like a walk in the park. Unless there is a huge international rescue mission, all 144,000 people would freeze and take permanent dirt naps. Well, ice sheet naps. I'm doing this series because these people are dangerous. Clearly, Mark would benefit from a padded cell. The people that fall for his delusions are often mentally ill. They are all severely deluded to think that bleeding on paper gives you access to a magic portal that doesn't even exist. But also, there are many flat earthers that think flat earth is biblical. Flat Earth's largest target market is Christians. They constantly post lists of Bible verses that supposedly say the earth is flat. It doesn't, but some people are easily fooled and suck at research, especially when reverse psychology is applied by saying, do your own research. They never do. Clearly, these people have no idea that the modern origins of Flat Earth are actually the opposite, or they would run from Flat Earth. Plus, Flat Earth is all lies. And who is the father of lies?